Good evening and a very warm welcome to yet another session online from Tieke Community. Tieke Community is a unique program for schools focused on students' character, and a very warm welcome to Tieke Community. Also focuses on students' physical, mental, and emotional wellness. Through Tieke Community, we have trained over 10,000 plus students in various schools with our life coach in the campus and also using our engaging content. Tieke Community also reaches out to students through online webinars. This is our season 2. And through these webinars, we have reached out to more than 175 schools in various parts of our country. This evening, we have a very good friend of mine as our special guest. Sathish is the head of HR for the very famous HDFC Bank Ltd. It's a pleasure to have you, Sathish, with us. I also extend a warm welcome to all the dear students who have connected with us online, teachers, principals, parents, and others who have joined us this evening. In this session, I would be conversing with Sathish to talk about his life, how he started off, and how he discovered the unknown path of his life through which we can all learn many valuable lessons. Sathish is a Madurai boy. He was born in Madurai. He completed his schooling in Madurai. He also went on to college in Madurai. He completed his postgraduate diploma in management, MBA from SEMS Cochin. Then he moved on to a company called Intimate Fashions, where he was starting his HR career. From then on, he built his career very successfully in various companies, including Vodafone, Idea, and now into the HDFC Bank. In HDFC Bank, he leads HR. Through his team, he brings in quality talent into the bank and also manages them and keeps them happy. I'm not going to take much of your time, and I'm going to straight go to Sathish to thank him for joining us and also ask him to open up about his life and tell us how he ventured through the unknown path of his life.
Sathish. Thank you, Harris. It's a pleasure to be a part of this session. Thanks to you and Tieke for doing this to connect all students. Now we know how digital can be used. Digital platform can be used to reach out to this many number of people at the same time. I'm very, very glad and happy. Unknown path. There are a few things which are unknown. So the reason behind the topic unknown was because there is no single point in time we will know everything, and the path we'll have to keep discovering. So thanks a lot. And when Harris told me Friday evening session 7 o'clock, I was wondering, okay, are you going to curse me? Because I remember Friday evening sessions in colleges and schools. We will be like, oh my God, no ways. One more lecture at Friday evening. Oof. So, but I'm not going to do a good of lecture. I thought let's make it a little more fun, which we can relate a lot. So bear with me for the next few minutes. I will try and my level best to say what I want to say to whatever learnings that I've had. So like how Harris was saying, so there are, I would try to put my stages of my life so far into 5. So I started a stage as a son or a student. That is when we all begin, right? So all of you can understand what I'm talking now. As a student in the school, I would never study, or in fact, I will try and study. I lacked like studying in front of my parents, in front of my teachers. That's a phase of life that I was joyous, careless, or you say in a different terminology, carefree, and not much responsibility, because we like to explore that phase of life. Because we are as students, we try and be more curious. We try to see what we like, what we don't like. We try to get new friends. We try to play games. So it's a vast thing altogether as a student. So yes, so today when I go back and look at my life, there are in the student life itself made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, so that is the unknown path. I didn't know that that is wrong. And then I had to, correct myself, discover myself, and I started taking more responsibility in studies, because studies is basically that age, we try to tend to give more importance to friends and play and, be more cheerful and all that. But so we'll have to, I discovered my path again. Then I realized that, okay, fine. So all this time I took my energy to play, be playful, but I wanted to, focus on my studies, because that is the foundation for anybody's career. Even if you all of us want to do business, I can proudly say I come up from a business background. My dad is a businessman, but I chose my career on my own. It is not that I was born a businessman. I wanted to become a businessman, but yes, after a point of time, I realized my interest to business is not that as much like my dad's is. So I thought, okay, let me try and explore a different path, or paving my own path to see what I like. So if you ask me, during my education in school, I was not sure. Okay, so like how we always say, are we ready? When are we ready? We are never ready. We always have to explore ourselves, be ready for the challenges that we face, but we should be clear in terms of what is that that we wanted to do. But we will know that what we want to do, and we know only when we are clear, only when we start exploring new possibilities. So then I started my college. So during my college, I was always wanted to do computer science. Okay, so I always wanted to become a software analyst, or I don't know what I want to. So the computer science was like in the 2002, computer science was giving a lot of jobs. The new foray was computer science. What we did see today, IT developments, way back in 20 years back, it was awesome. So I always wanted to become a. So then we had the September 11. So I'm not sure how many of you know, we had this infamous attack. And then the entire IT industry went for a toss. Then I again rediscovered. So I was very clear that I wanted to do this, and then I had to change my stance. Think back what I should do, and then explore myself. Then I thought, okay, what should I do to start my career? Then I thought, okay, a BCom will not be enough for me to start a career or go to a career that I wish to. So then I said, okay, let me do an MBA. Then I did the most important thing that I'm proud of even today, is to challenge my comfort zone. I was all in Madurai. I've never moved off my home. Then I said, okay, fine. I'll not do any MBA somewhere in Tamil Nadu. Let me try in somewhere outside Tamil Nadu. And then I started applying for colleges outside Tamil Nadu, started writing CAT, MAT, and then seeing where I can fit in outside Tamil Nadu. I was very clear that I have to move out of my comfort zone. So then I applied and I got an SCMS Kochi. That is where I moved to Kochi, and I started my education. I did finish my education in Kochi, and a lot of learning. So a total paradigm shift in terms of, when you move out of your comfort zone, in terms of how do you, survive. Survival is very key when you move out of comfort zone. So when totally different shift, when we, started learning a lot, new friends. So for example, when I was in Madurai, hardly I speak English, because there is no opportunities to speak English, right? We speak in a vernacular, we speak in Tamil, we enjoy doing it, we love doing it. Then I moved to Kochi, where you will have multilingualistic, 18 states representation students were there. So we get a lot of students. Even today, I have friends from Assam, I have friends from Punjab, I have friends from Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, AP. So that's like, it gave me at least a vast opportunities to connect with different sets of people. And, so that gave me an opportunity also to learn another language, which is, Malayalam. Though I hail from Madurai, my mother tongue is Telugu. So I can say I'm a 3/4 South Indian. Of course, Hindi to a certain extent, thoda malum, and some English, whatever I feel it is right. So, and then I got campus placed to a manufacturing company called Intimate Fashions. So fortunately, I got it in human resources. My first early stages of career. It was again a different shift. Because from a student, you get pocket money. Your your investment is done by your parents. You don't have much responsibilities in terms of earning. You just have to learn. We all, I at least felt that learning by itself is a huge burden because, oh my God, you have to learn, you'll have to write theories, you'll have to do PPTs, you'll have to present. So there was a lot. I felt there was too much of burden as a student but then the entire thing changed when I started working because it's a total different ball game. So my first manufacturing stint, I had a successful stint in my first company. Even today, I proudly tell everybody that, my first company is very, very close to my heart. And that's my first love. And you'll have a different ball game. So when you become when you start your career, then whatever you learned, you start implementing, right? So you learn a lot of things, but when it comes to implementation, you will see what all hurdles you face when you start implementing. In fact, one of the first hurdles that I thought I had was when there was a union strike in the manufacturing unit, and we had to speak to them, talk to them, and start making work them. Basically, a collaborative work, how we can make it successful. So and then there were a couple of mistakes that I made in terms of choosing the next job, which was I wanted to make my career fast paced, and I said, okay, what next? So and then I chose, and then yes, I had to learn from that I had to be a little more patient, have more perseverance in terms of my career growth. I had to choose the right set of organizations, and then right set of industry that I want to work. Be clear, or have crystal clear that clarity about how we wanted to grow. Today, we see a huge shift in terms of patience levels that the students at present that we are having, and what we were at least in the last 2 decades back. That patience is a critical factor when it comes to your shaping your own career, shaping your own life. So that is something that I figured out, that that's a learning that I had. Okay, then I thought, okay, fine. So whenever in my next few organizations, I have never left not serving less than 5 years. So that is something that I thought, okay, let me start doing it. Let me learn a lot. Let me grow within the organization. It's not always about salary. I always feel salary is it's a reward for your performance. So you start doing your job well, you start enjoying your job well. I always feel the happiness when we go back home with our job done well, and making an impact to people's lives makes more happier than whatever money that we get in the bank account. That is a realization that I have had in the last few years. And so we started enjoying the fortunate of my role, or the human resource role that we play, is we can impact a lots of lives positively. And that the role that we play, we can impact a lots of lives, then their families very much positively. And we started feeling that. And there was a stage of my career where I had a midlife crisis. We feel that am I doing it right? Am I in the right job? Am I going slow? Or do we have to change my path? Should I look into some other industry, look into some other job, or should I look at as a consultant? And all these things come about. It keeps nudging you to think beyond what you are doing. And it is always nice to basically accept it. You should not I feel that we should never reject a thought, because if there's a thought that is coming into your mind, that's your interest as well. So I'm still exploring. So when Harris was saying we'll have to learn from the path unknown, there are different parts of my path which is still unknown. And I'm also continuously exploring myself in terms of my likes, in terms of my dislikes. It is very, very nice to interact with a lot of people. As students, we had friends, we had teachers, we had principals, and we had our own family members, family friends. And when you move into a career, you will have your managers, you will have your colleagues, you will have your team members, you will have industry people other than your company, and then you will get to meet a lot of people. So I always feel, at least I felt in my lifetime, interacting with people is very, very critical. Maybe I'm not talking about the language, I'm not talking about the vernacular, but a very important tool that we miss at at least to me today, lifestyle is, interacting with people. We stick to a lot of digital, we stick to a lot of like Instagrams and Facebooks of the world. We try to be more with the mobile, but I always felt the face-to-face connect and the interactive we have with people makes a lot of difference with either stakeholders or colleagues or friends or whoever it is. So that has given me a lot of happiness per se. And I always felt there is nothing called perfect. There is always an ups and downs in life, like your ECG graph, right? So it's always up and down, and it is never straight point. When it is straight point, we know what happens, right? So it can never happen like that. And when there is an up, be ready. There can be a down, and when there is a down, be sure there is always a up. I felt that literally. I've in one of the 7 years back, I had the edge of depression. I had to bounce back, and after that, I would proudly say 7 years later, I'm very happy that I was able to challenge myself, be positive, grow from there, and that this 7 years, I'm telling you, has been the fastest growth in my life just before that down that I had. So when people say I'm down, and very tough to come back, I always say the only thing is, if you are down, be happy that, anyways, because you want to come back, you're going to come up. There's never a place where you're going to stay. Same with happiness, same with highs. When you get a high, you get a promotion, you get a salary hike, you get a different job with a great hike, you are appreciated. It stays for a moment. And, law of gravity brings it back, right? We come back to the normalcy, we come back to the reality of life. So it is always nice to stay balanced, ups and downs happens. And that is why we all have our friends, we have our families to support us. We all have our own learnings to learn from it. Yes, that day, that week, that month, that year would be a bad year, but it's not going to be continuous. So we'll have to look forward like our, sun rises every day. Regardless of sun likes it or not, it rises and gives shines every day. Similarly, we all have to, wear this hat and, rise up next day happily, positively, face the challenges. So there are probably, I'll take a couple of minutes to say I want to talk about, 6 C's. I'm sure as students, you learn many 5 C's and 6 C's by many people, but this is an opportunity for me to say my 6 C's that on my personal experience. Be cheerful. Yeah. So you are not going to lose anything. It doesn't cost anything to us. Be cheerful, because it is like a candle's light. You spread that light, light in the darkness. Be cheerful, ensure that you cheer others as well. Only when you are cheerful, you can, cheer others. So be cheerful. Yeah, there are few times you will not be able to, that's okay. But otherwise, we all think that, smiling is a sin nowadays. Smiling is not right, but be cheerful. That's not truth. Be cheerful. When you smile at others, it's very infectious. When you see somebody smile, you smile automatically. That's the infectious thing that you can, positive infectious thing that you can influence others. Second is be curious. Even today, I can say that I'm curious. You go to a new restaurant, you go meet new friends, go to new colleagues, face new challenges, be curious. So being curious will help us learn a lot, because what happens when you're curious is that means you don't know. So when you don't know, when you are in the path where you don't know, that means you can learn a lot. You are not predicament with a lot of thoughts and judgments. So be cheerful, be curious, take care. So the third C is care. Take care of yourself, take care of people around you. Very critical, because that is something that I've seen in the last 3 years, at least after COVID. We are beating ourselves a lot. We are having too much of unknown things in around us. So the least that we can do is take care of ourselves, take care of my health, take care of my happiness, take care of my body, take care of my mind, take care of my studies, take care of my job. Secondly, take care of people first, people around us, like my wife, my parents, like your family, your teachers, the students around us, people who are sitting in the nearby bench. Just take care of them. That's all. Nothing else. You don't have to spend some money, invest money, and nothing like that. Take care of them, take care of yourself. Very critical. Challenge yourself. Okay. I always feel getting into the comfort zone and not challenging yourself will make us bored. Forget about anything else. We'll just get bored. because, after a point of time, we don't look up to something interesting, because there is no challenge. For example, Usain Bolt, getting 100 meters in 8 seconds is not a big challenge for him. Okay, but for us, so when we challenge us, we try to do a lot of things differently, and you never know, you'll explore a lot of new things that you might even not know about yourself. So challenge yourself. Failing is totally fine. If somebody is telling you failing is bad, I at least don't agree, because I've failed many a times. But what is more important is learn from the mistakes, learn from those failures, and then, don't commit the same mistake again. Okay, so challenge yourself is something that I wanted to say, and count on yourself. We always, today what happens is we expect a lot of people to count on us. No, count on yourself first. That is something that I've realized. Okay, so today, for example, somebody is backing me up, somebody is giving me recognition, somebody is telling me, guiding me, but tomorrow that person might not be there, because we'll move on to the next stage of us of life. But what is constant is us. So count on yourself. Be confident on yourself. Even if that is a wrong thing that you're trying to do, you don't know what to do, but there is a start point always. But you can always, come back. You can always correct yourself. So count on yourself to ensure that you can challenge yourself. And the last thing that I want to, the last C, the 6 C's, right? I hope Harris is counting how many number of C's have completed. Last C is continuous learning. Never, ever, ever stop learning. Because when you stop learning, that means you're stopping yourself from knowing the world, knowing yourself, knowing others. So never ever stop learning. I have never stopped learning. I am, at least whatever time that I have, I try to learn. If not theoretical, I like to read books, but if not, I don't get time to read books. Go to YouTube videos, go to TED Talks, go to informative, channels in, OTT, not just, movies. Try to understand something new. Even movies gives a lot of learning. So you'll have to choose the right set of movies. You can learn a lot. So I always feel learning continuously will help us to keep going, up and above. And this is, I hope I've stuck to my 8 minutes, Harris. if I've exceeded, it's not intended. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Well, Sathish, thank you for sharing your life. You did cross your 8 minutes, but I didn't feel like stopping you, because you ended up giving us these C's, which are very, very important for students to get a perspective about your life. So I have 3 questions for you. I'm afraid if we would have time to ask the questions that students have sent us, but my sort of 3 questions to start with is on how a Madurai boy who did his schooling in Madurai and then college in Madurai moved on to think that you should get into a different state, learn new languages, mix up with people from different states. Maybe you could say why instead of how. Why did you think when you completed your schooling or your college 3 years after schooling that you should move into a different state, engage with students from various states, learn new languages? What is the idea? Why did you do that?
No, firstly, the thought probably I got this to do this because see, I come from a very traditional background of business, so the first thing that I'm trying to do is come out of that, so for that, I'll have to see whether I can write. So I don't know whether I can, try and work. I don't know whether I should, whether I can speak English. Like I was saying, we hardly speak English in our school. We have to, but otherwise, if you get an opportunity to play cricket, we don't speak English and play cricket like our commentary that we do. So why is basically curious. That is why I said one of my 5 C's, be curious. I wanted to, see whether it is possible, see new things, new places. In fact, I usually tell my folks in HDFC Bank also. 15 years later, I got an opportunity from HDFC Bank to head Kerala only because I studied in Kochi because I knew Malayalam. So we don't know. Something comes back to us very strongly. 15. We never even knew why we made this decision, but destiny took us to the right place. But the small part here is curious, Harris. I was curious.
Right. So it's very good for students to just come out of their comfort zone, their town, their set of friends, going to new places, going to places where they will engage with students from even various countries or states. get to know about them, get to know about their language, what are their practices, and that would naturally develop them, isn't it? Moving on, I would like to just ask you about two of the C's. Those two C's are quite interesting for me, because in the last session that we had, we touched upon that. One is continuous learning, right? One of the speakers in the last session, Manoj, was touching upon continuous learning, and he was bringing in curiosity. So which means curiosity and continuous learning is something very, very important. And in your way, how do you practice continuous learning, and also how do you stay curious? Is it that you find a good job, you become a boss, your levels of curiosity have to come down? Maybe a few seconds you can touch upon how you do your continuous learning and how you stay curious.
Yeah, so continuous learning, there are two ways we do it. No, one is a structured, organized set of learning that we do, like your colleges, schools, certifications, upgrade yourself. So that was again a learning from one of the mistakes. I've never did any certifications or something for the first 7-8 years. When I had attended one of the interviews, and the first thing the interviewer asked me, it was final round of interview, and the first thing he asked me, okay, after your college, did you do any certification? I said no. And after 6th round of interviews, just that no rejected my candidature there. That is a learning. Then I started investing some money. So I had put some allocation of my money to what I want to study. Which certification that I wanted to do a continuous learning. So even today I try to. It's not a compulsion that I do, but whatever is interesting. For example, last year during COVID times, I just got certified as a happiness coach. So something that I like. It is not doesn't. For example, happiness coach is something that's not in any of the curriculum that you see. But there are a lot of opportunities to learn. So that is a structured part. Second is the non-structured part, which we learn through our experiences when we start interacting with people. For example, this event that we are doing, I never knew that we can connect to 8 schools in a small computer and in a digital platform. So that's a learning. For example, I'll start doing it in my organization in continuous, reaching out to people in digital platform. Though we do, I'm saying, so how do we learn on a regular basis? For example, manufacturing, we learn a lot of statutory in industrial relation practices, and when it comes to telecom or banking. In fact, banking, last 3 years I've learned a lot about banking per se as a product, as a industry, not about human resources. I'm saying yes, a lot about human resources. That's the easiest part, right? But what you learn about technology, how bank works from the back end, that's you have to be curious. Both has to go hand in hand. For example, you cannot learn without curiosity. You learn without curiosity, you will only mugging up, you're just, for the mark's sake. Right. But if you learn with the curiosity, then it's a deadly combination, because you learn a lot. For example, even before joining the bank, I knew only maximum to write a check. Even OD, I didn't know. So I don't go to bank because I don't know how to do. My father used to say, you have to go to bank. Then I said, okay, after 17 years, I came to bank, but as an employer, not as an employee, not as a customer. So I feel, Harris, this is a combination, lovely combination, curious as well as learning.
Continuous learning. So yeah, I mean, you were telling about something very, very interesting, that as kids in school or in college, we were never sure of what a bank was doing. Or any company for that matter, what they do, we don't know, right? And even though you are a HR person involved with people and activities of people, you are getting to know how the bank functions. In a way, there's no thing called I don't know, right? Somebody cannot say today, I don't know. All that they'll have to do is just take an effort and learn what it is and how to go about doing it, or get more curious about that particular topic that they don't know, right? There's nothing called I don't know. Right? Finally, I would like to ask you about your experience of working in a very large bank. It's a very nice place to work, is what people say. HDFC Bank. You grew up in a small city. You moved into college where you engaged with students from various states. You picked up experience from different companies, but today you are a head of HR, right? You are a good
boss, I suppose. Huh? So how is it to work in a very big bank? Though we started in small town and we studied in schools without knowing what job we will get into, right? But today you are the HR head of HDFC Bank. How it is like? Just take us through a couple of minutes maximum. We're running really out of time, and we wind up. Yeah.
Amazing it is. In fact, I feel so proud to work with HDFC Bank. That's the thing that I want to start with. Such a large organization, and the impact that we do with the bank does it for the customers, and we are almost 1.5 lakh employee base. That's such a large bank, and and we are NPA. So NPA is non-performing assets, the least NPA we have in HDFC Bank.
So which means people are paying loans back
on time.
On time in HDFC Bank.
That right? Is because they don't default loans. The bank chooses the right set of customers as well.
Right.
So it's we feel so proud, and I feel so the structure, the processes, the systems are impeccable. It is amazing to see how the organization has been developed in the last 20-25 years into a beautiful organization. And you reach out, for example, last mile. If you look at Tamil Nadu, Kerala, we have around 700 branches, and all the employees are working from morning to evening to ensure that they service the customer. And even during COVID times, I always tell this, the first thing that I reach out to any employee that I meet during COVID times. I know I and my team, at least the backend support team, we were in the house, thinking about looking at the news, what's going to happen. But the branch employees, just kudos to the entire industry. They were in the branches when COVID was peak, when the lockdown was peak, because we were not able to close branches because it's RBI guidelines. So amazing to see how people work for the industry, for the bank, and the bank is a great place to work. So we are great places to work continuously for the last 2 years, and I don't have any doubts that we can move from here only to become the best place to work. A lot of things that HR is doing, a lot of things, leadership involvement, Harris, in terms of making things right, in terms of customer happiness, employee happiness. So yeah, from a place where I began school, student, and from wherever I am now today, when we go back, it's a realization is like, shocking that we were able to do this much. And that is also because of curiosity and continuous learning that we had, Harris.
Very well. I think you have managed to discover the path of your life, an unknown path, quite very well. And you also are able to tell a good story about that life, and give away 2 important C's out of the 5 C's, I would say: curiosity and continuous learning, as a valuable lesson for the students who are here, not just the students, teachers, parents, and others who have joined us here. Thank you so very much, Sathish, for joining us. You had a busy day at work, is what you told me. And in spite of that, you joined us. To all of our viewers, my humble request is to subscribe to our channel, because we've got more and more people coming in and talking to us as a part of our online sessions in Tike Community. We are looking forward to see you all very soon. Thank you very much, and have a very good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.